What was your motivation to write this book?
Well, I think I've covered that in some of the other questions, but I'd say in brief, my reasons for my motivation for writing this book was I was a very stressed parent, and I wanted to help parents reduce their stress level. I really, really believe that parents are experiencing like an epidemic of stress, and I think some of that stress is very unnecessary. Is very that there's ways to avoid it. And one of the big causes of stress is we are a society that's almost come to believe that we can fix everything. There's always going to be an answer, a cure, and that puts an enormous amount of stress on parents. We've also become a society that, again, thinks that parents sort of have to provide every single opportunity for their child. Otherwise, metaphorically, their child's not going to get into, an Ivy League school, right? And so my motivation for writing this book was to eliminate many of those sources of stress. The other thing is parents are parenting in a fishbowl. Everybody's watching. And how to help parents not worry so much about other people's judgment. And the more they can feel confident in themselves about what they're doing, and you can build their inner confidence, the less they worry so much about what other people are thinking.
This could be very reorienting.
It's very reorienting. I mean, I wrote it so that more children, and actually I wrote it because I was realizing that our Center for Reflective Communities, was doing such amazing work. But we work primarily with other nonprofit agencies, organizations, schools that are working with disadvantaged families, families who are poor and at risk. And I wanted everyone to know about this. So I wrote the book also so that all parents could have an opportunity to learn about it. And yeah, I mean, I know I've commented already about just it's a society-wide problem. I mean, we can't fault an individual parent. We're all susceptible to these messages, that just look at, just ask the expert. You'll get the answer. You'll get the cure. You'll be able to fix it. How to make your life happy, or how to avoid stress, or how to avoid problems with your child. It's not possible. That's one of the reasons I wrote this book, to get more. Life just isn't designed that way. Life is messy and it's hard, and we're not always able to figure everything out. And the more we can embrace that reality about life, the better off we'll be in our children.
It seems like you're making this so accessible and so reassuring.
It's accessible, and I like to think of it as like a little bit like common sense, really. If we look at what life presents us with, and we try to be able to sort of take life on its own terms, we don't have a crystal ball. A parent just doesn't have a crystal ball. If I do it this way, you don't know for sure what's going to happen or how it's going to turn out. I wish we did, but we don't. And so there's no guarantees. And we have to live with that. And since there aren't any guarantees, all we can do is spend some time and effort thinking about what we think is the best thing to do and go with it. And you know what? In the end, that's what your child wants you to do. If you've been thoughtful about it and you're honest, and if it turns out it didn't work right, you're honest and open and say, "Listen, that was the best I could do. I can see how it might not have worked out, but that to me is taking life on its own terms, rather than this way that our society has come to believe that we could actually avoid life's problems, like we're going to prolong life or something like that."
It seems very mysterious, yet very accessible.
Yes, it is a little mysterious, but usually most people, once they hear about it, they go, "Oh yeah, of course," right? I mean, it is, and that's partly because it's nuanced. Again, this is a society thing, I think. We're always thinking in black and white. It's either this or it's that. Parents are always asking me, like the other day at a lecture, a parent asked me and said, "Well, you said it's okay if my child isn't always so happy when I ask them to do their chores, and they give me a growling face or they mumble something under their breath. And you say I should respect their independence and not bother so much about it. But then you also say that I should set limits and I should be in touch with my own feelings about what my limits are. And so, which is it, right? Respect their independence or set limits? And I say, well, it's not either or. It's more nuanced than that. It's kind of both. That's why it sounds a little mysterious, and it's so antithetical to how our society is, to live in a nuanced world, nuanced way of being, rather than it's either this or it's that. And I'm trying to get people to be more comfortable.
I can see how practical this is.
It is very practical. It's very practical, yes, on a daily basis. At least 3 to 10 times a day. It's very useful to have.